Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us Erik Swanson, who is an international keynote speaker and the founder of Habitude Warrior. Erik, welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having me here. Great to see you, Mike.
Yeah, you too, Erik. And, I always love when you get that first impression of someone's company name or email address, and you got to know, okay, you sat there and thought about, I'm going to form this mission and this cause and this movement called Habitude Warrior, and there was a reason behind that, because it's not just Acme products or Amazon. So I want to know a little bit about your background, but what is a Habitude Warrior?
Yeah, great question. So what I did was I really started harnessing the fact that I wanted to help myself and others harness their habits and attitude on a daily basis, because I noticed a lot of people were getting down and they were bummed out. They were not really utilizing great habits on their everyday life, and then that in turn affected their attitudes, and then that in turn affected me because they had bad attitudes when I came up to them in the hallway somewhere. So I wanted to change the world, and that's really the genesis. I was sitting down with a friend of mine back in the day. He is an amazing speaker. He's since passed, but Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn asked me, he asked me what I was doing with Brian Tracy, and I said I'm the best salesperson that Brian's ever heard of and seen and worked with, and Jim Rohn turns to me and says, what do you really want to do? And I thought about that, and I went away, and I came back, and I said, it's a really great question, Mr. Rohn, and what I want to do is help people and myself with their habits and their attitude. He said you should put that together. So that was the start of Habitude Warrior years ago, 15 years ago.
I love it because anything that has a story like that becomes then part of your mission and vision, and then it keeps it clear. What you just described is super refined, and the phrase has come into my mind. I know I'll try to butcher it, but I know you know what it is. But it's something to the effect of, when you change your thoughts, you change your attitude, and when the attitude changes, then you change. So how does that phrase go? Because I think that fits really nicely.
Yeah, you stumped me on the phrase. I can't remember either, but basically it's change your thoughts, change your life. That's what I say.
Yes.
It's amazing. Like my buddies, I don't know if you know Bob Proctor and Greg Scott Reed and Sharon Lechter. They're really great speaker friends of mine. And Bob Proctor and Greg Reed just wrote a book called Thoughts Are Things.
Yeah.
And it's so true. These things that we have in our mindset, they really are thoughts. And you can create, nothing gets done without a thought preceding it. So,
yeah, but what?
Change your thoughts, change your attitude.
Like the book and the movie, The Secret, and everybody, started railing against that, going, "Oh, all you got to do is sit around and think good things, and poof, here come." You're missing the most powerful ingredient, which is the power of attraction, but also the power of action. You have to put those thoughts into action, and guess what? That action, I would say that you would agree with, is the habit, because those habits become ingrained, and then it's not work, it's part of you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
So when you are talking to someone and you say, hey, Habitude Warrior, love the concept, love what you stand for, what all would that mean for someone? Is this something that is a training program, a conference, a book? What is a Habitude Warrior?
Oh, man, it's a movement.
There you go.
It's literally all of the above, Mike.
Yeah.
It's literally a movement. What we did was we started off years ago, and we put together a conference, and it's literally a Habitude Warrior conference. And it started as a 3-day conference. Now it's down to 2 days or 2.5 for the VIPs. But it's basically a 2 to 3 day conference that we have a 2-year waiting list to get on our stage, which is we're so blessed to have that. it's picked up so much popularity that people want to be there, and for the right reasons, that is. And it's all TED Talk style presentations. So instead of going to a conference and just getting pitched all day long, we actually give all day long, which is so it's so near and dear to my heart. So it started as a conference, and then now we're doing we've got a podcast, we've got the mastermind. It's all about the movement of the warrior to really harness your habits and attitude. So it's pretty cool system.
And one of the things that I really like that you do, because part of a movement, and what's the genesis of a movement, right? And I do a lot of teaching of marketing, and when you think about brand loyalty, and you think about certain brands that you have that you use, whether it's a car type of a model or clothes. Typically, you personally have driven that same car, that same brand for a lot of years, and many times it's because of what you've been exposed to. So I say all that to say this. If you can reach, let's just say, the younger generation and get them exposed to a certain brand and then have all these extra brand extensions and products, you're going to keep them for a long time. So I absolutely love the fact that you, in your training, have the Junior Habitude Warrior program. Tell us a little bit about that, because that really sets the stage for that movement to really be long-standing.
Oh, thanks so much for bringing that up. Yeah, it's near and dear to my heart. So what we did, we started seeing a lot of the adults coming to our events, and they were asking us on breaks. They're like, "Hey, this is amazing. This is so like they were so inspired by the speakers on stage and all the exercises we do during breaks and so forth, that they wanted their kids to really enjoy this as well and learn from all these teachings." So we kept on hearing that at our events. Finally, I just said to my team, I said, "Look, guys, we got to put this together. We got to bring the kids." So what we did is we designed a whole day for the kids. So here's what happened is we have a 3-day conference. It's usually a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. On Saturday, the parents are welcome to bring 2 kids to day 3. And the age group is from 7 to 17, where we teach them confidence, leadership, and personal development. And it's developed and really moved in. It's a movement. It's moved into a course that's called the Junior Habitude Warriors. Really cool stuff. And what's really neat is the actual speakers that are on my main stage. Let's say I've got Brian Tracy over there, or Frank Shankwitz, the Make-A-Wish Foundation founder, or Sharon Lechter, or Loral Langemeier from The Secret, or any of these really cool speaker friends of ours. When they finish speaking on the main stage with the main audience, then they just walk across the hall and go talk to the kids for about 20 or 30 minutes and really have a great powwow with them on those subjects, the confidence, the non-bullying, the self-development, really getting them in charge of their lives early on. It's such a cool system.
Yeah, and the really interesting thing is, I know you do not do it for this, but a byproduct is the fact that the parents then are even further endeared to you and what you're doing for them, because you're doing this for their kids.
Without a doubt, yeah, and it's interesting because we have some of the parents are asking, like, what do I do with the kids during breaks and so forth. I'm like, look. A couple of parents asked us if they can come early, like, can I bring my kids for day 1, day 2? And what we say is, look, grab a black suit or something, suit them up. And they're like, well, the kid's like 5. I go, don't worry about it. Just suit them up and bring them over, and we'll have them take tickets at the door. We'll have them work with us. It'll be a lot of fun. They'll be in the main ballroom with you, so that you'll see your child literally have their first sort of internship job right there. It's so cool. It's such a feel good.
Yeah. And have you tracked some of the past attendees, some of the kids, to see what impact that it's had more so than just the event? Meaning this, I am confident that you can point to some of these kids coming through and going, man, my confidence level soared, which means I perform better at sports, which means my grades improved.
Yeah, without a doubt. So interesting enough, I've got a great story that just came to to fruition about a year ago. So I traveled, my team and I traveled over to Washington, D.C., and we held an event there, the Habitude Warrior Conference last year, or 2 years ago. And it was at the DoubleTree Hotel right there in D.C., beautiful venue. And coming down the hallway, and my team members are coming up to me and going, somebody wants to say hi to you. I said, sure. Who is it? So this tall kid, he looked, I don't know, he had a beard, he had, this long hair and so forth. He was taller than me. I'm 6'2", and this kid was, 6'3". And he comes up to me and says, Mr. Swanson, I wanted to say hi to you and get another photo with you. I said, another photo? Great. Have we met before? He says, yeah, you may not remember, but I was one of the 6-year-olds in your class about 10 years ago. I'm 16 now, and I wanted to see if you could sign this $100 bill that you gave me last time I was in your class. Apparently, I gave him a $100 bill. Wow. He had me sign it, and he never came back. He never spent it. He went ahead and framed it. And I even said, wait, you didn't spend this on like video games or anything, something like that? And he said, no, sir. He says, I'd rather spend it on my investment to attend another event. Wow. I was like, wow. So I said, all right, I'll sign the other side. So I signed the other side. He went ahead and framed that one, and he just told me that next time he sees me, he wants me to give him a credit card now.
Yeah, right. That's really, really cool. And there's probably 38 other stories just like that you have not even heard of because people just didn't think to come back to you. But it's so neat when you can have that affirmation and confirmation. Makes me think of this. He just sorry to interrupt you. He just got his father just emailed our office letting us know that they just got accepted to Harvard University. Wow.
Yeah,
and
cool.
You just from mindset, habits, training, personal development from age 6 on, you just have to know that started laying a groundwork that has paid dividends beyond.
Right. Exactly. Yep. And that's the thing is a lot of us in this land of self-development, we're looking for the instant gratification. Yeah. Yet it's the long-term awesomeness that really changes the world.
So that makes me think of something. We've been talking about kids, but whoever the attendee is at any age, how do you help empower them to implement and not just attend? It's been said, like, are you interested in this concept or committed? And there's a lot of people that I'm sure would go to an event, whatever event, and just kind of nod and smile and take a note or two, and then they just never do anything with it. So what do you do to help encourage, let's get that into practice, into your life?
Yeah, so great question. So what I will say is we do have systems to do that at our event within the exercises that we utilize with the attendees. The sad truth is I can't really tell you what they are because you have to experience it at the actual event. It's really cool. But we've got some major exercises that during the breaks, see, we don't really like to call it breaks because the whole thing is an experience. Yeah. And I've had so many attendees and speakers come up to us after the event and say, the speaker was great. The stage time was awesome, but what I really loved about your event was in the in-between times, the exercise times, and it doesn't seem like exercise, it doesn't seem like homework, but it's really something that we strategize to do to put together for connections and for long-term success for these individuals. And what I've noticed actually, Mike, is we have, I'm sure you've been to many, many events, and I'm sure you held your own events as well. And you start seeing these speakers come in, they fly in, they get picked up at the airport, they get dropped off at your event, they speak in the cell, let's say, and then they take off to the airport again. Yeah. So they're in and out in like 4 hours. Well, we don't actually have that community. The community that I surround myself with, or that surrounds themselves with me, is the community of speakers that are high-end, high-level speakers that want to be there for the 2 or 3 days throughout the whole conference. So you'll start seeing at my event, let's say there's 500 people in the room. Well, there's like 25 or 30 of them that are literally speakers sitting in the audience that you don't even realize. Oh my gosh, there's, Marie Diamond, there's Frank Shankwitz, there's Sharon Lechter, there's, Les Brown just sitting there. And and they're loving the speakers that are on stage. So they're learning from the other speakers as well and communicating and connecting with everyone.
That takes you wanting to guide and develop the vibe of the conference, because you noticed a lot of events had speaker A, fly in, speak, leave, go, and you didn't want that, because guess what? That kind of subconsciously communicates that all of the information that I as an attendee will be taking in, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. But when you see speakers getting involved and sitting there and rolling up their sleeves and interacting, I think that really speaks a powerful message of this content is meant to be digested and absorbed and implemented, because it's kind of like a all-encompassing, like you said, experience, but you're engrossed in the content.
Absolutely. It's so rewarding. It really is. And then what I started noticing is the speakers, they would come in and then we used to have we still do. I mean, obviously with the shutdown of events lately over the next few months here. But what we do at our events, though, it's so cool that we have all these speakers get together for dinner at what we call a wrap party. So we do a speaker wrap party where all the speakers just kind of infiltrate a restaurant on day 3 of the event. They could easily go home, but they don't. Yeah. They stay for Saturday night, and they literally have a closed party or a dinner specifically for the speakers and my staff and team members, my dream team. So you've got my Habitude Warrior mastermind members, and it's about 50 of us. And it's just so rewarding because you're just sitting there with the superstars of today's self-development. And you get to just break some bread and have some wine and chill with that individual. So it's just really rewarding.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I am on your website and I do not see merch. Do you have Habitude Warrior merchandise?
Oh, merch. I was like, merch.
Yeah. What?
No, we don't. We don't. We don't for a reason. It's simply because there's 2 trains of thought in our land. One is, yes, people want it. Obviously, people want the merchandise and so forth. But really, we don't push it online. We don't sell it there. We have T-shirts, and we typically, I'll tell you a little secret. Yes, they're for sale, the T-shirts and the different things that we have at the event. But we actually give them away during breaks because we love it when people walk away going, oh my gosh, look at this. This is what I got.
Value add, yeah.
And what's interesting, and I'm kind of giving a secret away here, is out of 30 speakers for 3 days, we only allow 2 of them to be able to offer anything from stage. Everyone else has to gift out one thing, one item, one training course, one ticket to their event, one anything to every single audience member in the audience that day.
Wow.
So at the end of the session, end of the event, these 300, 400, 500 attendees walk away going, oh my God, I went to the Habitude Warrior Conference and look at what I have to work with for the next year. It's awesome.
Well, and you used the phrase experience, and you've noted a few things that are different than typical conferences where the speakers are engaged in helping you, and you've got specific things, exercises, or things that you're helping the attendees implement what they're learning. And the other big thing is, I think a lot of people won't pick up on this, but what you just said. How many times have you gone to an event and every single speaker is pitching and trying to sell this, and you feel like, man, alive. I just went to a full-on series of infomercials back to back, and you feel exhausted. And if your events don't have that feel, and in fact it's the opposite, it's like, wow, look at all this stuff I walked away with for free from these reputable speakers. That's a competitive advantage like no other that I've ever heard of.
It's really cool. Thanks for saying that, Mike. I appreciate you saying that. And it really is cool because what happens, if you could think about it, let's say we have 30 speakers for the 3 days, and 28 of them are giving you something. And the something is not just an ebook. It's not just a whatever. It's It's literally like, here's my $1,000 course, or here's my $5,000, mentorship for 30 days. So it's pretty substantial what they're giving out. And then what I've agreed with all my speakers is, after you capture, let's say we have 500 people in our audience, and you do a great job on stage, you gift out whatever you're going to gift out, and 250 of them grab your free gift, whatever that is. Great. There's 250 people that are begging you for more of you. And I allow them to not, bombard them, but send a quick email, a week later or 2 weeks later, and say, hey, by the way, I noticed that you took advantage of this. If you'd like, here's something we can do, a strategy discovery session. Yeah. And what happens is, we've got a lot of people doing it that way, where then we do, profit share on the back end from that. So it's pretty cool. It's just a backwards way of doing it, but I think it's a forward thinking way of doing it. And one more thing that we have to throw this out to you is another secret that we do, which this will kind of lay the foundation of the experience. We have something called the Awesome Couch. And I actually, while we're talking, you'll probably see on your cell phone, I sent you a photo, and you'll see there's literally a couch behind all of these speakers. There's 30 speakers on stage there. Right behind, you'll see a red couch. So what we do is, I have my team, they fly in this couch to all the different events that we do throughout the U.S. and Canada and UK, et cetera. And this couch goes to our event and is on stage. And what happens is, after every speaker speaks, we actually invite them to have what's called an awesome interview with Mr. Awesome. Les Brown called me Mr. Awesome, so I kept that nickname. So I sit on the couch with them, and I have a 2 or 3 minute, just a really cool powwow, awesome couch interview. And that's where they are able and allowed to give out their free gift. So it's kind of been, it's really cool, Mike, and endearing, because at the end of our conferences, you start seeing people don't want to leave. It's hilarious. Like, we're spent 3 days of 30 speakers and all the exercises. My team and I are like, let's go, let's get out of here. And the audience members are like, no, we want more. And they're taking photos and sitting on the couch. So what we typically do, and I'll pass this back to you. I know we're coming down to time. What we typically do on that couch is, what we started doing over the last few years is, we just gift that couch to somebody who wants to take it home from the audience. And,
That's awesome.
And
there's a door prize for you.
it's true. Like, because what we don't want to do is, we don't want to like pack it up and ship it back to our warehouse. We'd rather have them have it and put it in their, some people put it in their teenager's room, or their home office or somewhere. And what's really neat, depending on the couch, like the one that I just sent you is a velvet one, so it was a little tough to do it on that one. But the leather one's very easy. We take a big, huge magic marker, and on the back of the couch, all of the speakers sign that particular couch on the back. So you've got pretty famous individuals, and you're walking away with something really cool.
Yeah, that is just unbelievable. I just love, I've never heard of a conference or an event or an experience like this. So I'm so pleased to have you talk about this. So how can people learn more? What's the best way they can see what the upcoming events are for the Habitude Warrior Conference?
Yeah, great question. In fact, you know what? I've got a gift for everyone, because that's what I do. So what I'll do is, I'll give you a website. They can check it out, have a free gift, and that'll also give them an opportunity to check out our Habitude Warrior virtual mastermind. Because a lot of people can't travel these days. It's a little tough, a little challenging. And what we want to do is pivot and shift and help people in such a great way that we put together a Habitude Warrior mastermind, where you are there with other members, and it's all virtual on Zoom. We use a different platform, but it's on Zoom style. And what we do is, we invite our famous, awesome team leading speakers to share their insights, and it's twice a month. So it's pretty cool. So here's my awesome, free awesome gift. They're welcome to grab. It's one of my, I'm a 7-time #1 best-selling author right now, so I'll give them one of my books if you'd like. Okay. It's and this is for influential entrepreneurs. So this book is called Sales Habitude Warriors, for for entrepreneurs. So it's perfect. What I'll do is this. Here's the website. And you could put it in the link if you'd like, or however you want to publicize it. It is freeawesomegift.com. That's it, freeawesomegift.com.
That's kind of easy to remember.
It is. I make it very simple for people. You know what people do, Mike, is they make it really difficult to find them. Like, talking to a guy named John Smith, he's like, oh, yeah, go to my website. It's John-Smith __ 94. Oh, you were born in 94. Got it. So instead, I make it really easy to find us, freeawesomegift.com. Or if they want to follow me on any of our social media, just go to awesomeswanson.com.
Very good. And habitudewarrior.com for the conference as well. Yeah,
there you go. Habitude Warrior. And if you're wondering how to spell Habitude, it's very simple. It's a cross between your habits and your attitude. So it's Habitude, Habitude.
Perfect. Well, Erik, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time. It was wonderful talking with you, and I really am excited to see how all of these events come to life for people that are now going to take advantage of them. So thanks again for coming on.
Absolutely, man. Mike, you're changing the world, so keep doing what you're doing. I really appreciate you, and I'm going to have my team share your stuff on all of our social media, so I'm looking forward to connecting in the future with you as well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneurssradio.com.